Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. Back with another live show. It's a new week and it's already been an incredible week for us Arsenal fans. Today has been crazy. Every time I get online, there's something that has happened. Every single 1 hour, something has happened today, which is absolutely crazy. If you compare that to last month, the way it was very quiet and all Arsenal fans are like concerned, what is happening, what is going on. This time around, it's not been that way. This time, it's definitely not been that way. And this has been a very, very busy week already. And it's going to get even busier with medicals booked, and we are going to start seeing these departures from Arsenal. We're going to be talking about that because there's like 4 or 5 players who've been linked to the move away. You're going to be talking about them all, and also we're expecting at least a couple of announcements today, not today, but this week, or maybe even 3 this week before the Asia tour. So we are playing our first game on Saturday against Watford in a behind closed doors game. I cannot wait for that to see this guy's feature. Like all these players, like I already cannot wait to see how Mendy fits in this Arsenal team. I cannot wait to see all these other players that we've signed making their debuts, and obviously players like Saka. Tough season for us and those players last season with all the injuries. Let's hope it's a better season next campaign. So let's start with Gyökeres. How are you guys feeling? By the way, been a very, very good day for us. This is the latest from Fabrizio on Gyökeres. Arsenal and Viktor Gyökeres camp are waiting on the final approval from Sporting on the bonus structure, and they have been discussing it in the recent hours. The striker then needs permission to travel to London, where his agents are, and Arsenal are waiting. So the final details are being finalized by Sporting. His agent, Gyökeres' agent, is already in England. He arrived in London earlier today, very, very early in the morning. So that part has already been completed. I'm sure they have to send some documents back and forth, and then Sporting will confirm that deal, and then Gyökeres will be allowed to travel to London to do his medical. Now, for that medical, I mean, everything could happen today, and then the medical happens tomorrow. But the medical also usually takes, unless it starts very early in the morning, it could take 2 days as well. So by the time Gyökeres finishes that medical, we might be on Thursday already. I'd have to say, but since they want him as part of that Asia tour, I think they're going to try and rush things as quickly as possible so that they do have Gyökeres on that plane. Because Arsenal are leaving on Saturday night to head to Asia, so not that long to go. And Arsenal are actually playing on Saturday, so there's a lot of things that we still need to finalize this week, but I'm sure they're going to try and rush that Gyökeres deal. And a medical will be done maybe for in 1 day, and then everything will be done, and then he'll join up with the team. Not in Spain, but he'll wait for them in England, and then he will be joining up with the rest of the team as they travel to Asia to play Newcastle, AC Milan, and also Tottenham. Big transfer, big preseason for us. Last preseason wasn't that great. I remember we drew with Bournemouth. I think we beat United, but we lost on penalties to them, and then we lost to Liverpool. Not a great preseason, and it kind of carried on to the season. The previous 2 seasons, though, we had very, very good preseasons, especially the one with Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko signing. That preseason was excellent, scoring those, I think it was 6 goals against Sevilla, 5 against Chelsea. They scored like 3 or 4 against Orlando. That preseason was very good, and we saw how we started the season. So preseason is very important. Doesn't mean if you win your preseason games, you're going to win your Premier League games, but the tempo and the momentum is there, and you kind of have an idea of how your team is going to play. Last season, we saw how we played, and that is how we basically played in preseason. So let's wait and see how it's going to go down. So Gyökeres, I would expect him to be there by for that Asia tour. Fabrizio also said this. Viktor Gyökeres' agents landed in London early this morning, and they are in constant meeting with Arsenal today to get the deal done. So what a signing this will be. We finally have a striker at Arsenal, man, and we've had to wait. So Fabrizio has not given us that here we go yet. So I guess he's waiting for Sporting to finalize those bonuses, and then he'll give us that here we go, and then it will be 100% confirmed that he'll be an Arsenal player. And I mean, his agents are already in England, already in London, already discussing, finalizing everything, and Sporting have already agreed the fee, so nothing will stop this deal from happening. Just the medical to go this week, and the final details of this particular deal. I cannot wait, man. We're actually going to have a striker. I actually can't believe it. We're actually going to have a striker at Arsenal. We've waited for such a long time. Let's go to the next topic, and that is on Mosquera. Gyökeres is not the only deal that is happening today. Mosquera, there's also big news on Mosquera, which came out of nowhere as well. I thought we were going to wait a couple of more days before we go back to the Mosquera one, but the fact that we are already finalizing the Mosquera one, that means they're already done with them. The Gyokeres one, already done with the Madueke one, and that's why they moved very quickly for Mosquera to finalize the deal. That's what I've always told you guys. I'm going to wait and see how Bata does throughout the window. That's why I didn't say anything when you signed Madueke. I said, let me just wait and see what else he does in the transfer window, because by the end of the week, we might have signed 3 or 4 other players, and all of a sudden, instead of a 4 out of 10 transfer window, it will look like a 10 out of 10 transfer window if we got all the players that we need. So far, this transfer window after Gyökeres, that will, for him, it will be like a 9 out of 10 transfer window, because all the new deals as well, all the new contracts, been fantastic. And the fact that he's negotiated most of these deals, like Mosquera, let's talk about Mosquera. Despite being offered two new contract proposals, Christian Mosquera only wanted to join Arsenal. This meant Valencia only had 2 options, which were to either sell him to Arsenal this summer or let him join the Gunners on a free next summer. This is according to Fabrizio. The player completely refused to sign a new contract. He said, I'm going to Arsenal. I mean, he was training. He didn't refuse to train like Gyökeres. For him, he was actually in training today. And then he had that Arsenal had agreed that a fee. And then he left the training to probably head to do a medical. I just remembered a couple of minutes ago that Arsenal are in Spain and Mosquera is in Spain, so he might actually join them in Spain, or will he go back to England to do his medicals and wait for the rest of the team over there? Usually that's what happens. They usually go to England, do the medical, and then come back to Spain, take their belongings, and then move on back to England. And then after that, it's going to be the Asia tour. It'll also be very, very important to have Mosquera there. I'm not sure how fit Timber is to start right now. I'm not sure how fit Gabriel is as well to start the very first preseason game next week. I'm not sure. So I think we'll need players like Mosquera there who's fit and ready to go. So that is what Fabrizio had to say about that one. And then, a couple of hours ago, had given us that here we go. And he said 15 million euros fee plus add-ons, total package under 20 million euros. So at the beginning, we were told that they would request more than 20 million euros, Valencia, and then that dropped down to 20 million euros. And then all of a sudden, we're actually going to pay less than 20 million euros. So once again, fantastic job from Andrea Bata. I'm getting this deal done for that little as well, because Mosquera is a 21-year-old. He's very, very good. He just played for Spain in the Euros under 21, and he's a very good player, very good backup that we need. We just haven't had the backups that we've needed, man. We have the best defense in the league, probably in the world. And that is even with the injuries. Even with all the injuries he had last season, he still had the best defense. With Gabriel missing 3-4 months, with Calafiori missing so many times, with Ben White missing almost the entire season, with Tomiyasu missing the entire season, with Saliba, he missed a couple of games with the red cards and injuries as well. We had so many players missing out last season for sure, and we still managed to have the best defense. So we still need a backup though. If every Arsenal defender was fit and we didn't sell anyone, I don't think we need a defender, but we definitely need a defender because of those injuries. And also now that Tomiyasu has left, this is basically a replacement for Tomiyasu, who could have been, if Tomiyasu was playing as a right back, that could have allowed Ben White or Timber to play as centre backs, as backups for Saliba. But because we don't have Tomiyasu, that has meant Timber and Ben White have had to play as the fullback. So we basically don't have a backup for Saliba. And on top of that, remember Ben White and Timber were injured last season too. Timber was fit a lot, but he was always getting subbed off. And then we needed him at right back as well because Ben White was out. So he pretty much did not have a backup for Saliba the entire season. We had to play Saliba in Carabao Cup games. Sometimes they had to push Kivio to the right centre-back position for a couple of games so that Saliba could be rested. Like, Saliba had to play almost every single game once again, more than 50 appearances for us last season, and that is not great. You need to rest players like Saliba, and on top of that, remember, he also plays every single game for France, so he never gets to rest. So it's very, very great to have a player like Mosquera coming in and helping with the backups. A player who's available, because Tomiyasu is a good defender, was a good defender for us, but he was never available. Ben White is a very, very good defender for us, but last season he had the injury problem, so we have to move on very quickly. You have to get backups for Saliba so that you don't risk any more injuries next year. We want to go find every single competition, and a player like Mosquera allows us to do that. Now, will Mosquera be a backup for both of them at centre back? Especially if Kivio ends up leaving. For me, I would love Kivio to stay, unless you're paying more than 50 million. And even at that, I'm not going to be that convinced, because with all the prices players have been going for this transfer window, average players have been moving for 60 million and above. No, I want a lot of money for Kivia as well, international defender and all that. And I would actually love to keep Kivia at Arsenal, having him as a backup for Gabriel and have Mosquera as a backup for Saliba. But we were told a couple of weeks ago that Arsenal are also looking at signing a left back. So that would mean Calafiori plays as a centre back, as backup of Gabriel, and then we have Lewis Kelly with a new left back. That will mean we'll have like 9 signings this transfer window, which is absolutely crazy. But Mosquera, we got the here we go for less than 20 million. That is a very, very good fee for a young international player who's already featured for Spain at the under 21 Euros. Fantastic. And I cannot. Another Spanish signing, by the way, I just realized, I think it's half. I think he has like Colombia somewhere. But yeah, we have a lot of Spanish players, so they're not going to have problems adapting there with Raya there and Kepa there and Merino there and Zubimendi there. They're going to have it's going to be very easy for them to adapt. Now, more on Mosquera here. David Onstin had earlier told us that Arsenal are working to complete the deal to sign defender Christian Mosquera from Valencia. Let me just read his article. What David Onstin had to say on the article about Mosquera. We're finally getting a backup defender who's going to be available. It also helps that Mosquera, since he started playing football, he's never picked up an injury at all. He's been, if you check the injury list for Mosquera, 0 injuries, never missed a single day, even with the flu, nothing at all. He's always been available, so that is great as well. So Arsenal are working to complete a deal to sign Mosquera. This is from David Onstin. Personal terms are in place with the 21-year-old, and the two clubs are close to reaching an agreement. The Athletic previously reported that the North London side were working on a deal to sign Mosquera, with the defensive signing a priority this summer. Arsenal have been active in the transfer market, very active, man. If you also consider that at the end of June, a lot of Arsenal fans were very mad in that people are talking about, my goodness, we've not made a single signing. Where the hell is Zubimendi? Where the hell is Nogard? Where are these guys? When are we going to sign them? All of a sudden, we started with the Kepa announcement, and it's been very, very quick since then. Also, they go on to say that Zubimendi, Kepa, and all these guys have joined us. The club have also agreed the deal for Madueke and Gyökeres. Mosquera made 41 appearances last season, 37 of the 38 in La Liga, and also featured in 3 of Spain's 4 international games this past summer, the under 21 Euros. And then Arsenal see Mosquera as ideal cover for first choice centre back pairing Gabriel and Saliba. And fair play to him as well. A lot of players could easily say, yeah, man, Gabriel and Saliba are always going to play. If Gabriel and Saliba are fit, you're not going to start ahead of them. It's not possible. But we need to get someone who's going to be good rotation for them. And Kivia is very good rotation if he stays, for sure. And Mosquera hopefully can be good rotation as well. Because this game, Saliba playing 51 games last season, Gabriel playing 42, and that was Gabriel injured for 3 months. So this could have been even close to 60 games for Gabriel, way more than 50 as well if he didn't get injured. So that is too many games. Having to play against Preston, and we have to play Saliba and Gabriel, that is not good. When you have a game that weekend away at Tottenham, or a game that weekend away at Aston Villa, you do not want to, play these players every single game. Now you can afford to rest both of them. You now have the options of playing Ben White as a centre back, Timber as a centre back, Calafiori as a centre back. Let's hope we can get these players rotated next season. Ben Jacobs also had this say on this. He said that Christian Mosquera has agreed personal terms with Arsenal instead to travel to London this week. Arsenal and Valencia finalizing a package in the region of 20 million euros, as Fabrizio called. So on top of all of this, remember, in terms of wages, we're actually paying these players quite little, by the way. Players like Nogard are going to be like on 50k a week. Mosquera is going to be on low wages as well. I don't think Zubimendi is going to be that high. Gyökeres is going to be 200k, but worth it. I thought it was going to be way more than that, actually. So all these deals and all these new signings, we are doing a great job in terms of saving up a bit of money. So they've done a great job so far, and the head of recruitment there with Andrea Bat as well, they've all done a good job so far this transfer window, plus the new deals. If they finalize the Nwaneri new deal this week, then things are looking very, very good. I cannot wait for preseason. I always look forward to preseason, obviously, because at that point you've not watched Arsenal for 2 months and stuff, but this time around I'm really looking forward to preseason. I want to see how Gabriel is going to play next to Mosquera. I want to see Calafiori next to Saliba for one game in preseason. I want to to see Lewis Kelly, Calafiori, how they're going to be rotating. I definitely want to see Zubimendi in that midfield next to Reiss, next to Norgard. I want to see how Norgard fits in that Arsenal team, the qualities it brings. Obviously, you want to see how Saka wasn't great at the end of last season after the injury, obviously. So hoping he's going back to the Saka that we know this season. Martinelli, Trossard, are they going to be here? If they are, what improvements have they made? Havertz, Merino, which position are they going to be playing now that Gyökeres is there? Are we going to have a front two at some point? Just literally 4-4-2 with two strikers up front. I'm looking forward to seeing all of that. So let's see how it goes. So that's the latest on Mosquera. As we see here, let me just pause this video so it doesn't get copyrighted. I don't know if it's a copyright video, but yeah, that is Mosquera there. He was leaving training today, as you can see here. He was leaving training as soon as Arsenal agreed a fee with Valencia. So he's already left training. Where is he headed to? Probably to meet with the rest of the Arsenal team who are in Spain as well. So so that is Mosquera deal done. Now it's been very busy. The people who are signing these deals and doing the medicals are going to be very busy this week. Fabrizio confirmed that Arsenal and Chelsea have countersigned all documents for Noni Madueke deal. So that one, I think that will be the next deal to be announced. It's tough to predict. It could be Mosquera as well. I don't think it's going to be Gyökeres next to be announced. I think they're going to take a couple of more days before they announce that as well. They're going to make us wait a couple of more days, as always. So Madueke, I think, will be the next announcement. And big pressure, obviously. We know how Arsenal fans or some Arsenal fans feel about Madueke joining Arsenal. I think many Arsenal fans did not want Madueke to join Arsenal, but now he's an Arsenal player. Again, that's another thing I'm also looking forward to. Where will Madueke play for us? Is it going to be a left winger? Is he going to just be a backup for Saka? Are we going to see him in any other position? Could we see Madueke in a 10 for one game, next to Saka? All that. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Madueke as well at Arsenal. A very interesting signing because it has the potential of being a very, very good signing and shutting everyone up, but it also has the potential of hopefully in December we are saying, wow, we did not expect this. This is absolutely amazing, rather than we told you this is what you expected to happen. We don't want to hear that. We want those 10 goals and 10 goal contributions by that point, a few assists here and there, big goals in the cup competitions and all that. That is what we are hoping for. He's an Arsenal player now, so let's hope he does well. Let's hope it goes completely well for him, and let's hope that that fee does not. You see, the way we never talk about Declan Rice and the 105 million because he's been worth that and way more. Let's hope you're not talking about that 52 million by the end of the season. If you're not talking about the 52 million, then he's been a very, very good signing. So let's hope it goes well, but he will be a next announcement. Now, players will have to leave. Players will also have to leave. I like the way Arsenal have done business. This kind of shows me that, we were not really lacking in terms of money. We didn't have to sell fast to get all of these players. So what we've done is we've bought our players first, and then now you're going to start selling the players, which is great. You need to, if you sell a player and then you go and buy, sometimes you might have to pay a lot of fees, because when the other team knows that, okay, you're really lacking in that position, they might throw in a couple of millions for you to add. But now that we have these players done, Arsenal can easily say, you know what, nah, we're not going to sell Kivia. We are very happy to keep him. Unless you have 50 million, then we can talk. They can easily say, you know what, we've decided to actually keep Zinchenko. Unless you have 35 million, we can keep him. So if anyone wants these players, you can come with the money. Arsenal's attention will soon shift to outgoings with Alexander Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, Jakub Kivior, and Reiss Nelson, all potential departures this summer. Leandro Trossard also has an uncertain future in North London amid talks over a new deal. So that is 5 players mentioned there. It's going to be a very, very different season for Arsenal for sure. We've already lost a lot of players. Obviously, Jorginho's gone, Partey's gone, Tierney's gone, Tomiyasu's gone. Players like Butler, Yedeju are featuring on the bench a lot last season. All of those players are gone. I think it's almost like 8 or 9 players who've already gone, and there's still going to be more. There's players who've moved on permanently now. Players like Tavares and Marquinhos, and now these players as well. Zinchenko, Vieira, Kivior, Nelson. I think Nelson will definitely leave Arsenal. We'll talk about him as well in detail in the next post. Kivior, I think either there's a 70% chance he stays at Arsenal, 30% chance he leaves. For me, I would 100% keep him. Fabio Vieira, I think, is going to leave Arsenal. How is he going to leave Arsenal? Is it going to be a loan deal or be sold? Is he going to, have to wait all the way to August 31st to get that deal done? Vieira will leave Arsenal 80%. 20% he might end up staying, maybe up until even January or something, but he's not going to get any game time, especially if you sign the other players that you're being linked to. Zinchenko, there's also a chance Zinchenko leaves, but for Zinchenko, I feel like it's a 50-50. You never know. For Zinchenko, it's a 50. I don't think it's guaranteed that he leaves, especially if no one comes with the right amount. I don't think you're going to sell Zinchenko, although there's a couple of players there now like Trossard, and I think like Zinchenko as well. Their contracts are expiring next year. So either you sell them right now or you sell them for little in January, or you give them a new contract, or you lose them for free next season. Again, that is another thing we are hoping Andrea Bata can help us with. How much money can we get for these players? Usually Arsenal would get 5 million for Zinchenko. If Zinchenko is playing for Chelsea would sell him for 60 million. Can we also manage to do that? Can we also manage to be able to get that kind of fee for our players and not lose them for free? I do not want to lose Trossard and Zinchenko and these players for free. There's a lot of experience there. These are international players. Zinchenko's captain this country. You do not want to lose this kind of players for free. And Zinchenko is not even 30 years of age yet. So right now is his prime. So let's hope we do get significant fees for those ones. Nelson, I think he's definitely going to leave. And yeah, going back to players like Nelson is a bit going backwards also with Vieira. That will be going backwards, unfortunately. And those are just the 5 that we know about. Maybe there could be a few surprises. You see there, Tomiyasu left out of nowhere. You never know. Maybe a couple of players will also just leave out of nowhere. Now, let's break this down one by one. Let's start with Trossard. Graham Bailey says Leandro Trossard has now indicated to Arsenal that he's keen to look at options to leave the club this summer. Bayern Munich have joined the hunt, and interest remains from Saudi Arabia, while there are also Italian sides keeping a close eye on the situation. So I'd not be surprised, especially now. I'm sure Trossard has had, Martinelli might not leave. Eze is being linked to the move to Arsenal. Madueke has now joined and is going to play as a left wing a few times here and there. Yeah, there's a big chance Trossard knows that he's not going to get a lot of game time. Personally, for me, I started the transfer window by saying I want us to have as many options as possible. If you have the money, just keep all of these players, because there's times where Man still have Mamouche and Haaland, and they still have Bernardo Silva and Foden, and they still have Grealish and Doku, and they still have Man still have a lot of players, They usually have a lot of players who can play those positions. Sometimes Man still have up to 10 players who can play those positions. If you go back to the days where they had Mahrez, there's a point where they had like 10 players who could play those forward positions. And, players like Grealish, you never see them playing. Even defensively, Man still usually have a lot of players, Akanji, Ake Walk, and all these guys. I want us to have that as well in our forward positions. I don't want us to think, oh my goodness, one player suspended, what are we going to do? No, I want us to have so many options. Martinelli, Trossard, all these guys. But if you don't have enough money and you have to sell someone, then what can you do? And the problem also with Trossard, as I've said, is the contract. The contract is expiring next year. So either you sell him right now or you give him a new contract, or you let him go on a free next year. So yeah, I would prefer either getting money or new contract, maybe a year, but yeah, Trossard has definitely been more in terms of goals and assists. Has been better than Martinelli the last 2 seasons, but obviously age is a factor. You cannot sell if both of them. If you could sell both of them, that is something different. But I'm not a fan of that as well. But I don't think you can sell Martinelli and leave Trossard, unless you're getting like 70 million for Martinelli, because Martinelli is very young and Trossard is past his 30s. So Trossard is not going to play football for the next 5 years, but Martinelli is going to play football for the next 10 plus years. So obviously that is a factor for sure. But looks like he's interested in leaving as well. Bayern Munich want him. Let's see what happens with Trossard. Yeah, he might not get a lot of game time next season if we end up signing all of these players. Reiss Nelson, if Trossard is not going to get game time, then Reiss Nelson will for sure not get any game time at all. Reiss Nelson has received a lot of interest from top flight clubs, but the winger is thought to prefer a move to a London club if possible. This is according to Hand of Arsenal. We had that he actually enjoyed his time at Fulham, but do Fulham have enough money to buy him? They might come back for him later, obviously. Such deals like the way we did with Odegaard and Ceballos. But I think Ceballos came back to Arsenal twice, right? He came back for a second time, yeah. Especially the Odegaard one. Odegaard was on loan at Arsenal. We sent him back to Real Madrid, and then we went back after like a month to sign him. So Fulham might do the same thing with Reiss Nelson. They might try to look for the money throughout the transfer and then maybe sell him, buy him in August or something. But I think Reiss Nelson will definitely leave. How much money are we also going to get for Reiss Nelson? So how much do you guys think Reiss Nelson is worth? Again, if it was Chelsea, they would probably get like 28 million for a player like this. So that's why I'm like, how are we able to get this kind? Because last season he also didn't play. He was injured almost the entire season for Fulham. How much money should we be getting for Reiss Nelson? That is also a key thing. How much do you think is worth? Let me just check something here. Reiss Nelson. I think I read it some other time, but I've forgotten. Contract expiry 2027. So he still has 2 years remaining on his contract. He's been here. He's been at Arsenal for a long time, though. He's been here. He was there with the likes of Maitland and Niles and Nketiah and those kind of players. So I don't think he's going to be an Arsenal player at all. Actually, that season when Nelson scored that goal against Bournemouth, I think he could have been sold that season. He was supposed to be sold that season, and then he got injured, so Arsenal could not sell him, and then he stayed on, and then obviously scored that big goal for us and all that. And the next season as well, he could easily have been sold, but he ended up signing a new contract because of those performances. So I don't think he's going to be an Arsenal player. Let's see how much money we can get for him. Ethan Nwaneri. Apparently, Dortmund also wanted Ethan Nwaneri. These guys are obsessed with our players. Although Arsenal and Ethan Nwaneri are close to an agreement on a new contract, Borussia Dortmund tried to lure him away by providing him with the Jude Bellingham route. So the Jude Bellingham route is, like the one that his brother is taking as well. Dortmund and then Real Madrid. Is that the Jude Bellingham route? No, thank you. So Nwaneri, there was talks about Nwaneri not having enough game time last season. At the end of the season, Nwaneri should have been coming on earlier. I agree with that. For sure, he was coming on sometimes with 5 minutes remaining. Sometimes he wasn't even coming on at all. But for Ethan Nwaneri, he played 37 games last season. That is a lot of games. We cannot say that Nwaneri playing 37 games in his first season is little. 37 games is a lot. The only thing that you can say is how was he playing those 37 games? He was coming on with only 2 minutes remaining. I know that was not great. Maybe sometimes should have been coming on earlier. I agree with that. He definitely should have gotten a lot of chances when Odegaard was out. He didn't get enough chances. Then maybe those games could have been like 45, or maybe we should have been bringing him on earlier. But if you just look at the 37 appearances, that is a lot of games that he played. That's not we did not disrespect Nwaneri in any way that he did not feature a lot. No, that is a lot of games. At other teams, you'd play 10 or 12 games. But did he deserve to play more at the end of the season? Yes. There's some games there that the season was basically done, and we were bringing on players who are not going to be here next season. So that game time should have gone to Nwaneri. But I'm confident he will still sign a new contract. He'll be an Arsenal player. Very, very keen to see how he also fits in this Arsenal team, because all the players that we are signing, and I think there's still going to be more, very interesting. And there's been rumors about maybe Lewis Kelly even playing as a midfielder sometimes. Why will Reiss play? Is he going to be playing as an 8 as well? So if Eze is signed, where is he going to be playing? Like all of that. For me, I'm happy to have that headache. Let's have as many players in the team as possible. That definitely helps us. In the article from BBC, they wrote talks over fresh terms are set to accelerate in the coming days. BBC understands the offer will be a new 5-year deal. Fantastic. That's the same with Gyökeres, I think with Mosquera as well. The 18-year-old academy graduate existing deal expires at the end of next season. So no taking risks with that one. Make sure we see this with Nwaneri very soon as well. His friend signed a new contract. Let's hope it's the same with him as well very, very soon. Let me come to your comments now. Thank you guys for being patient. There's a lot to talk about today. Let's see. Finalizing, man. It's going to be done. Don't worry. Let's do this. There you go. No, not you. Hi Glenn, how are you? Musa, thank you for always watching. I appreciate you. Bata must be given his flowers, says Diane, for sure. A very good business. And today is July 14th. So to get all of those deals done by now, that's very quick. If you compare that to look at Man United are crying. And I remember some of you are commenting 3 weeks ago, oh my goodness, look at Man United. They've signed Cunha, they're about to sign Buemo. How can a 15th place team, do more business than that? Now we've signed almost quadruple the players that they've signed, and it's looking better for us. So, and Man City have kind of calmed down. I think they already did their business. Liverpool have kind of calmed down. So all of a sudden, we've done more business than all of these teams. I can't wait for the league to resume. Gyökeres, I'm so happy. Says Rajab. We are feeling Gyökeres, says Bernard. My transfer of the generation, says Sheriff. Really, I'm very happy. Our sporting director surely knows football. What football is, says Mr. Researcher. Definitely good job, man. He's done a very, very good job. Experience is very important. There we go. Welcome, Gyökeres, says Dennis. Now, Ez is a must too because you need a good quality bench if you want silverware this season. Alex from Ghana, is Gyökeres deal then? And about what about as a deal? Talk about as in the next video. Kenya tuned in, Glenn. Thank you for watching, Ravi. Greet Cozy. I will. Arki says, how you doing, Glenn? I'm doing good. Kiwi not for sale, but Gyökeres and Madueke should join the squad this very week. I think they'll join the squad this week, those two for sure. Mosquera as well. So again, the preseason becomes even more exciting, not even just in terms of how we are going to play in tactics and all of that and seeing how these players will fit in, but just because we have so many new signings and almost all of the players there. Remember last summer, there was a Euros, so Declan Rice did not come back until I think the end of July. Same with Saka. Like there was a lot of players coming at different times because players had played in the Euros. Saliba came at a different time. I think there was also a Copa America, so Gabriel came at a different time as well. This time, the whole squad is going. Plus, on top of that, the injured players are back. Gabriel, Timber, and all these guys. And on top of that, the new signings. Not one or two new signings. Last time we only had, I think, even Merino did not come early because he had just won the Euros with Spain. So this time around, there's going to be Kepa there. There's going to be Noga there. There's going to be Zubimendi there. There's going to be Madueke there. There's going to be Gyökeres there. Super exciting to see how we play there. Jolene says, I want to hear Gyökeres only. Fair enough. I don't agree. Gyökeres only is not enough. We need other signings as well. So we can sign Gyökeres, but you also, if you don't sign Zubimendi, you don't have a midfield. You also need a midfield. We need someone to pass the ball to Gyökeres. So we also need to talk about players like Ez and Nwaneri. Musa says, hi Glenn, this is Babs. Please, any update on Declan Rice? I heard he's not part of the team that traveled to Spain. Yeah, he wasn't. And they said he was working on his fitness first, but he will be there for Asia. I'm happy. Give Declan Rice more rest. Last season, Declan Rice and Timber played way too many games. If we couldn't even, if Saka could get another extra week for holiday, I would give him that. Fans are now feeling at home. Best transfer ever, says Edie. You're welcome, Musa. Thank you for watching always. Arsenal are now doing great work. Man, we are getting updates every hour. That is very, very good work. But you just need Ez and Lookman when the deal of Rodriguez is going to be had. Yeah, I don't think Rodriguez is going to happen. And I also don't think Lookman is going to happen unless it comes out of nowhere. We'd have had some updates on those ones. I know the ones for Mosquera and those players went completely quiet, but you'd have had a bit of an approach. Lookman is still an Atalanta player. I think we're going to go for Eze. I don't, unless we get a cheaper wing, I don't think you're also going to go in. Real Madrid want 100 million for Rodrigo. I don't think that is going to happen for sure. Alman say, unless we sell players. Hi Glenn, thank you so much for the update you're always giving us. Thank you, Alman, for watching. Now that we have signed most of our targets, we need Eze now and we're good to go. God forbid we don't win trophies now, then the fault will be on Arteta and he will leave. But definitely this season we will win trophies by God's grace. The squad will now have good backups for each position. That is what we need. 2-3 players in each position. We never have this. Literally, in our team, even the injuries affected us, obviously. But do you see how many times we have to change everything over when one player misses out? Timber misses out, and we had to change our whole squad. We had to move Partey from center midfield to right back, and then we had to move Reiss from number 8 to the number 6, and then we had to move somewhere else to a different position. Like one player missing made us change 4 or 5 different things. Now, injury is also our factor, obviously, but I would like us to have, if Ben White is out, we just have a direct replacement there. If Saliba is suspended, we have just someone there right away. We don't have to switch things all around and have a right back moving to center back, and then having a left back moving to right back, and then having a midfielder moving to left back. I don't want us to have that. I want us to have, direct replacements and sometimes flexibility as well. We don't have to make like for like subs. If we are trailing 1-0, let's not take off Gyökeres and bring on Havertz when we're trailing 1-0. Take off a defender, bring in Gyökeres, have both of them playing up front, both Havertz and Gyökeres for the last 20 minutes, whether it's Merino and Gyökeres the last 20 minutes, have a front two, have 5 attackers on the pitch at the same time instead of subbing off Odegaard for Nwaneri, bring on Nwaneri for a defender, have both Nwaneri and Odegaard. That is what I want to see next season. Please, do you have any aspect of game about Lewis Kelly that you don't like? Lewis Kelly? No. For me, it's been absolutely amazing so far, and I think he's actually one of our best ball carriers. That is absolutely fantastic. The way he carries the ball for us, the way he wins fouls for us at certain points of the game where we need to win a free kick or we need to take away the pressure. Lewis Kelly has been great. Now we'll need to watch him more. Obviously, he's not perfect as an 18-year-old. Obviously, he's not going to be perfect. Still needs to improve a few things here and there. I don't want to use the word overconfident. He's not overconfident. I like Lewis Kelly, man. Even the way he doesn't let anyone bully him and all that. Yeah, I do like him so far. So far, I haven't seen anything that I don't like about Lewis Kelly. But obviously, he's 18. There's obviously some things that he'll need to improve on. I don't think Rodrigo deal will work out. I don't think so as well. Please let's keep Trossard. Please say his wisdom. What a great weekend and great signing, bro. I'm so happy for Barton Arsenal management. They do a great job, says Musa. Kivior is an understudy to Gabriel Magalhaes. Chance of leaving is very, very low. No, it could actually happen. That's why it's been mentioned by all of these guys. Calafiori is a center back, so Calafiori is not a left back, he's a center back. So he could be the one to back up Gabriel and then Arsenal sign a new left back. That could also happen. But I'm hoping Kivior stays for sure, depending on the money, I guess. If someone comes with a 40 million offer, will Arsenal accept it? Will they reject it? For me, and does Kivior also want to stay? That's the other thing we also have to think about, Diane. If Napoli want him and he wants to go and start games there, he might want to leave. So you just never know. Trossard and Zinchenko should not go for less than 50 million, where, yeah, we are not going to get 50 million each. Yeah, combined, maybe. Zinchenko 50 million, we're not going to get that. Trossard 50 million, we're not going to get that. They have 1 year remaining on their contracts, and Trossard is above 30 as well. So 30 and above, maybe we can try and pull that for Trossard. I mean, again, if it was Chelsea, they would get that 50 million you're talking about, Mark. So why can't we also do that? So I would want at least 28 for Trossard, and I would want at least almost the same, 25 to 28 for the two of them. So more than 50 million for both combined, because they have 1 year remaining on their contracts. If they add more, then yeah, this transfer is so different. Arsenal are so active this summer. Gyökeres and Eze should be top of our wish list. Gyökeres is no longer on our wish list, Cody. We're already leaving the supermarket with him, so he's not on the cart or anything. No, he's not on the wish list. We're already leaving the supermarket with him now. Rodrigo will be another lengthy talk, and we do not know how long it will take to adjust to the Premier League. Rodrigo will not happen. 100 million is too much. We'll have to sell all of these players to go back for Rodrigo. And Rodrigo, Gyökeres has said he really wants to join Arsenal. Mosquera said he really wants to join Arsenal. Rodrigo has never said he really wants to join Arsenal. He might want to go to PSG. He might want to go to Bayern. He might want to go to Man City. He might want to go to Liverpool first. So there's no guarantee that you'd be waiting a lot. Sell Lokonga. Lokonga is still an Arsenal player, by the way, Michael, but you can't sell someone unless someone comes in for him. That is the problem. So for players like Lokonga and Vieira, we have to wait until someone wants them. You see the way Man United are struggling? There's no one who's buying Rashford, so they're just stuck. There's no one who's buying Garnacho, they're stuck. So you have to have market for these players. 10 million says Lighton, 10 million for Nelson. Wisdom, we are not going to get 43 million for Reiss Nelson. I mean, for a player, I mean, yes, I know teams like Chelsea and Liverpool are getting that kind of money for their players who never play. But, can we sit down and count 10 games that Nelson has played really well? We can't. We cannot. I can mention to you 10 games that Smith Rowe played well. I can tell you even 10 games that Nketiah played well. I can definitely tell you 10 games that even Pablo Mari played well. I can even tell you 10 games that Cedric played well. The problem with Nelson, it's a lot of factors. It's not all his fault. There's a lot of times that he wasn't getting any game time at all, so we never really got to see him. During his loan spell at Fulham, he was injured. We never really got to see him. So the only thing maybe you can do with Nelson if you can't sell him is to send him on another loan spell, hope that he performs well during that loan spell, and then we can get more than 20 million for him. That's the only thing we can do with Nelson. Nelson should be sold for 35 million. At the moment, right now, there's no one who's going to pay that money for him. So we'll have to send him on loan and hope that he performs well. Is there any means you could sign Rodrigo this summer? I personally don't think so. There is a means, though. If you sell Martinelli and you sell Kivia and you sell Vieira and you sell all these guys and then you go back for Rodrigo, and am I a fan of that, selling Martinelli and selling Kivio to earn that money for Rodrigo? To be honest, no, because I don't want us to spoil another 3 positions just to get one player. But I need us to get an extra attacker, even if we get Eze, if it is possible. But yeah, it doesn't have to be Rodrigo as well. I started the summer transfer window saying it doesn't have to be Rodrigo. It could be Nico Williams at that time. It could have been Lookman. It could have been Rafa Leao. I was happy with any of them. So yeah, I think Bakayoko is available for 20 million from PSV. Could we surprise? Could Arsenal surprise us and go for a player like that? Let's wait and see. Finally, my team has decided to do the right thing this window. Says Shelley, very, very true. Thank you for always watching, Shelley. I appreciate you. Did Arsenal sign Gyökeres for true? Alhaji still cannot believe it. Alhaji is still like, what the hell is going on, man? Are we actually signing? I can't blame him, man. We haven't signed a striker for so long that even seeing that Gyökeres is joining us is unbelievable. I'm happy to see Gyökeres as in Bukayo up front. That would be so exciting, man. That's from Love More. I'm so happy to see it done for Victor, says Solomon. Eze next says Lawrence for sure. Add Eze and we are good to go this season, says Chokon. If Arsenal should sell players like Trossard, Zinchenko, Kivio, Nelson, Vieira, and Lokonga, then we'll sign Rodrigo. I mean, if we manage to sell all of those players, then it's a possibility. You can. The problem though, how many teams want these players? That's the other thing. I don't think I've had. I mean, I think Lokonga will get a team. I'm worried about Vieira because of the money. Is there anyone who's going to come and pay that money for Vieira? Nelson, I think teams are going to come in for him, but you're going to start getting those stupid offers. Someone is going to come and say, we're 8 million for Nelson. I know there's teams that are going to do that. Zinchenko, we should be getting close to 30 million for those ones. Now, if you go to Trossard and Zinchenko, I know Trossard only has 1 year remaining, but you show them the resume, you show them the big goals against FC Porto and Bayern Munich, and those games in the Champions League, you tell them this is a player we're not selling for 20 million. Keep Trossard, says Michael. Please keep. Who is Alexandra? Do you mean Alexander Zinchenko? Where is Marquinhos? Says Marvelous. So there was a video that says all done deals. You're watching on Facebook, right? So if you check the pinned post on Facebook, we talk about all the done deals, every one of them, including Marquinhos and Tavares and all these guys. So Marquinhos has already been sold. Is Gyökeres truly signed? Says Sambo. Very soon. Good afternoon. I want Arsenal to sell Trossard and replace him with Ademola Lookman. That money will not be the same. I think Atalanta wants 70 million and we're talking about 20 million for Trossard. So unless we add another 50 million. I mean, after we signed Madueke, I thought you're not going to sign Rodrigo. It was very clear. And there's no guarantee Rodrigo is going to leave Real Madrid. That's the other thing. For Lookman, we were told Arsenal do not value Lookman at what Atalanta value at. So, yeah, and we've seen with the Gyökeres one, we did not pay that extra 5 million, and I don't think we were going to pay that extra 5 million. Thank goodness for that agent, because I have this feeling something is telling me something telling me at the back of my mind that we would have actually have cancelled that Gyökeres deal. I don't think we'd have gone to pay that extra 10 million because that is also an ego thing. The moment you say, okay, fine, we're just going to pay you what you want. Yeah, I don't think they want to do that. So that would have gone on and gone on and gone on. Now for Lookman, if they were not ready to pay 60 million for Gyökeres, yeah, they're not going to pay 70 million for Lookman. So unless Unless there's other wingers that are going to come out of nowhere. Let's see. There's a lot of wingers who play football, so there's not too many good strikers. There was only Gyökeres, Sesko, and Isaac that we could have signed. Maybe you can say Osimhen as well. There's not too many, but Osimhen was never going to come to England. The money for Osimhen is a lot as well. I don't think anyone would have paid that. The Isaac money is too much. There's no one who's going to pay that. So the only realistic options we had were two people, Gyökeres and Sesko. So after that, I don't think there's any other good options. Watkins is a good striker, but he's over 30 years of age. So yeah, next season Arsenal might be the best team in scoring a lot of goals and also defensively. Hopefully, because if you do that, you're probably going to win the Premier League title. If you have both of those two things, if you're scoring goals and you have a good defense, then yeah, we will not be losing to Everton or drawing with Everton twice, home and away. Drawing with Fulham every season, drawing with Aston Villa or losing to them every season, losing to West Ham at least one game every season. We'd not have been doing that, Those teams, no disrespect to them, but we should be beating teams like Burnley and Leeds. We should not even be talking. It should be 6 points against those teams. You're going to draw a few games here and there. You're not going to win all of those games. You're going to draw against a Man City, against the Liverpool, maybe against an Aston Villa, against the Newcastle. You're going to draw games, but when you have a good defense like we do and you have top strikers, then you're going to score goals in those games as well. Like it never looks like we're going to score a goal away at Newcastle. Every time we play Newcastle, it never looks like we're going to score a goal at all. So at least now with players like Gyökeres there, we can actually get a goal against Newcastle to start with. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Skelly, Zubimendi, Reiss, Odegaard, Saka, Gyökeres, and Eze. That looks such a good team, man. And there's other big players that are there as well. Remember, Merino was a very good striker last season. So imagining him as well coming on the last 15, 20 minutes to clinch the game. Charles says, I see Arteta on the last day of the window buying Rashford or Garnacho. Listen, if you've already signed Eze and Gyökeres and all that, you have money to buy all of those players at the end of the season, you can do it if you want. As long as you get the players that we need, that is absolutely fine. But Rashford and Garnacho, they're talking about 60, 70 million. Nah, not going. We have a good relationship with Chelsea. We don't have a good relationship with Man United, so I don't think that will happen. Unless Jackson, Charles, let me tell you, Jackson and Nkunku, maybe those ones are possible on the last day because they're coming from Chelsea. Wisdom says, thanks so much for sharing all your transfer updates with us. May God bless you. Thank you, Wisdom. You too. I really enjoy your program. Thanks a lot. But please let's complete as a deal this week. I don't know if as a deal will be completed this week. I think it's too much because you're trying to do Nwaneri, Gyokeres, Mosquera, Madueke, these medicals and all that. Surprises. Let's hope they surprise us, Wisdom. Let's hope Andrea Bate is also going to get the deal done for Eze this week. And we're like, oh my goodness, 5 transfers in 1 week. Let's hope that is the case. But I'm willing to wait another week for Eze. I would love him to be there. We are playing our first game on Saturday, but that is a behind closed doors game. Our first real preseason game is next Wednesday. So we still have like 9 days. Let's see how it goes. Michael says keep Zinchenko. I see read that one. Ugochukwu says, I know Eze will come to Arsenal. I'm 60% confident as well. He's our next signing. Then Rodrigo will be the last signing, maybe deadline day. If we sign both Eze and Rodrigo, I don't think it's going to happen. But if we did, oh my goodness. Just imagine Eze and Rodrigo, and you've already signed Gyökeres as well. Michael says, Jackson, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Coming from Chelsea, and he's now not going to play. He's already been replaced by Pedro and Dilap, so Chelsea are probably going to sell him. So very, very interesting to see. As always, thank you guys for watching. We'll have the same live show, same time tomorrow, but we'll probably have a different live show. The moment we get the Here We Go from Fabrizio, even if it's 11 p.m., 12 a.m., doesn't matter. We are going to go live to discuss it. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.